Well, it looks like Xbox seems to have creeped back onto the bad side of some gamers, and this is all in regards to their next big game. But could this impending announcement of a new game change some people's minds? Let's break this all down, up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. Alrighty, so Xbox is once again popping up on my radar, and we are once again talking about a brand new game released in 2024, releasing at 30 FPS. Now, I want to preface this all by saying I'm one of those gamers that could honestly care less about frame rate. But at the same time, or at least for as long as I've been doing this thing here, there are people that care about this more than anything, which, hey, to each their own. So in the terms of the 60 FPS and 30 FPS debate that has been thrown around online, Hellblade 2 was at the center of this conversation, and the game is coming out on May 21st. Now, because the game is so close to release day, the previews for this game are now out, and overall, the game itself sounds like a hit. Now, if you check out this X post by fellow Kalo variant by the name of Kalo Brielle, quote, Senua Saga's Hellblade 2 previews. Unreal Engine 5 visual benchmark, possibly one of the best looking games ever. We got fully mocapped fighting systems, combat is only one-on-one, slow paced and very brutal, swinging your sword feels heavy and impactful. Quote, a true next-gen experience. And this is where things started to go off the rails. 30 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S. Now, before we really dissect that bit there, let's talk about the rest of the review. Features industry-leading binaural audio, overall a narrative linear action experience with very high production values, focus on story and cinematic craft, impactful combat, and puzzles. Now, these are all the things I'd expect from Hellblade's next big entry. And as I said earlier, again, the 30 FPS debate comes up once more. It's also coming out that this was allegedly fully a creative decision by Ninja Theory, and not a problem with the Xbox hardware. At the end of the day, they wanted to focus in on 30 FPS, and this is all because Hellblade 2 as a game is supposed to be this slow-paced cinematic experience, much like a movie. And to be fair, this is a move that makes sense in the grand scheme of things. While it's not too flashy, 30 FPS in a slow-paced game will appear better compared to that of a fast-paced game like Call of Duty. And at the same time, I know this is the internet, and I know people will have differing opinions on this matter. This is mainly because this is something, whether you like it or not, will affect the game beginning to end. And the two things that were essentially promised by all of the big console makers, more specifically like Xbox heading into this next generation, were faster load times and giving players the choice of visual fidelity. Now, when you lock players into a certain frame rate, this does ruffle some feathers, mainly because some people do want 60 FPS. Now, my take on this all is just because the game is launching at 30 FPS, that doesn't mean this is gonna be a bad game. But again, that's just my take on it. I still think the game will sell and rate well amongst critics and fans alike. And most of the games I played this year are still great games, and they're ones that don't offer up 60 FPS. But I gotta chalk one up to the community at large here because there is a desire for that choice of 60 FPS. And just better frame rates in general, which again, isn't really a wrong thing to ask for. Now, it isn't all doom and gloom over at Xbox, because yesterday, while on the Kinda Funny Xcast, Jeff Grubb dropped some pretty big news. So this news is all in relation to Gears of War 6, and let me tell ya, I am super excited about this. So Paris Lilly and Jeff Grubb both claim something related to Gear 6 will happen this summer. This led everyone to connect the dots and assume some type of teaser or full-blown reveal could possibly happen at Xbox's game showcase in the summer. Now, following all that, Tom Warren from The Verge backed all of these reports and claimed the coalition has been working on the next Gears of War game for at least a year. Now, Shinobi602 on the Reset Era forums, who is a credible source when it comes to leaks and all of this information, also claimed Gears of War 6 will have, quote, mind-blowing visuals. And I think the thing he exactly said was, quote, "Wait until people see Gear 6. People aren't ready." Now I gotta admit, that sounds good, but that could also mean something terrible. But I'd like to think it's something really good. Now, while there wasn't too much to be given on that statement, a lot of people are feeling this idea that Gear 6 could be a true next-gen game. Not only that, but this game will put the power and processing of whatever comes next from Xbox on full display. See? The news cycle is balanced, as all things should be. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this question off to you guys. What are your thoughts on Hellblade 2 releasing at 30 FPS? And are you excited for Gear 6? Mainly, when do you think we get a look at it? But that about does it here. I've been KLO, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.